What's up, y'all? It's your girl Jay Renee with Prison Riot Radio. I hope that you're doing well. This afternoon, we got a brother on the phone by the name of Gregory Johnson. He's going to talk to us about some of the injustices that he say is occurring in the state of Illinois and their facilities. So let's jump right into it. All right, bro. Thanks for pulling up on us today to talk about this subject. How you doing?
Absolutely. I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Not too bad. So we're gonna
That's
jump right
good.
into it, okay? Tell the people a little bit
Okay.
about yourself and where you from.
My name is Gregory Johnson. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, particularly from the Logan Square area. I was raised in a family of four. Me being the youngest, pretty much my childhood wasn't so great. I ended up in the DCFS system as a child. Ended up having to emancipate myself out of that system because I felt like they didn't take my concerns into consideration of what I was going through in them group homes or residential centers. So I pretty much emancipated myself from there. I have a daughter, and it's like I'm just really now I'm just trying to be there for my daughter and not have what happened to me happen to her.
Okay. So I want to talk more about that. I know you was telling me that there's some things that's going on in Illinois that you feel the people should know about. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic how we had these incidents going on where the police are just killing people out of nowhere for no particular reason. And my thing now, what's going on is not only they are killing people for no particular reason, but they're actually putting cases on guys and women too that they did not commit to have them locked up for whatever reason it is. They just putting people in prison unlawfully, like what happened to me. And there's when you fight, they quick to get you into the jail, but when you fighting, trying to show your innocence, the process is very slow and it's bad. It's really bad.
I know that you was talking about some cases that got put on you. I want you to give it all up, bro. Tell us what's going on in its entirety.
Okay, so this is what's going on. Originally, like I said, I'm from Chicago, Illinois, particularly the Logan Square area. I ended up moving down to Georgetown, Illinois. I bought a two-bedroom ranch-style house down there, sitting on a 2.5 acre, one-car garage. I extended the garage to a three-car garage. But anyway, in the process of me moving my stuff down there into the house, I had a police pull up on me, and he introduced himself. I introduced myself, and he got to kicking it for a little bit, talking about a few things, and then after that, I got to back to moving my stuff. And as I was moving my stuff, he was just standing there watching me, and he stated out of his mouth, "You don't belong in this town." So I looked at him, and I didn't really pay mind to what he said. I was just, okay, well, whatever, and I just left it at that. So anyway, we're going to go to the date of October 17, 2017, in which I asked a friend of mine to help me move some furniture at my house. And when I go over to his house, I asked for his wife answered the door, and I asked, "Is Tim home?" And she was like, "Yes." I was like, "Can I speak to Tim?" So Tim comes to the door, and I asked him, "Can he help me move some furniture at my house?" Which he agreed to it. So as we walk to our house, I'm talking to him, and everything is fine. Everything is going good. So we end up at my house. We moved the furniture and everything. And after we moved the furniture, he went down West 15th Street. I went down East 15th Street, in which we went our separate ways. Well, somehow, some way after that, I don't know what happened. I ended up going to work later on that night. Well, actually, before that night, I ended up going to pick up my phone, and I went to the bar. While I'm at the bar, I received a text message from Tim saying to meet him at the bar. And it's kind of ironic because anytime Tim texts me to tell him meet me at the bar, he's normally already there. So I text him back and let him know I'm already at the bar. And I haven't received no text from him within 15 minutes. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I picked up and asked him, text him again, where are you at? No response at all. Okay, that's odd. So I leave the bar and goes to Tim's house, back to his house, and ask his wife, is Tim home? And she's like, no, he's not home. So I leave. I'm like, that's odd. Anyway, so I go over to my ex, her niece's house to grab my work bag, and I go to work. Well, while I'm at work, the Georgetown police end up coming to my job and coming to question me. It's like, Mr. Johnson, talk to me. So I step aside and talk to the police, this Officer Bowling. And he asked, you know why I'm here? I was like, no. He said, well, we have a missing person report. I said, well, I'm not missing. I'm right here. He was like, no, Tim missing. I was like, huh? Yeah, it's like 10 minutes. Do you know what 10 minutes? I was like, nah, the last thing I know is I went to his house, asked him to help me to move his furniture at my house. He helped me move my furniture. And then after that, he went down West 15th Street. I went down East 15th Street. We went our separate ways. Later on, he ended up texting me, telling me to meet him at the bar. So the police was like, hey, do you have a copy of that text? I'm like, yeah, I still got the text. So I showed him the text. And he stated out of his mouth, how is that possible? So I'm thinking to myself in my head, like, what do you mean how that's possible? Anybody know how it's possible to send a text? Never really caught on to it anyway. So I told him that, well, my phone was off at the time when he texted me, so that's probably the reason why I received the text at like 1:08 that morning while I was at the bar. So he stated under his breath, and which I actually heard him, he said, that's conflicting. Now, I didn't really catch on to the reason why he said that's conflicting, because he can't be saying that my story I'm telling him is conflicting to another story that I told him, because this is my first time running into this guy. So he was like, would you come to the police station to talk to me? I'm like, yes, I would. So I go to grab my things at work, and he takes me to the police station. He's like, actually, no, he's like, no, you don't got to grab them. I'm going to bring you right back. I'm like, okay. So we go to the police station. While they're at the police station, they had me sit for like maybe an hour, 2 hours. After the 2 hours ran up, they came in and talked to me. So they was like, man, what was your, explain to us where were you at on October 17th of 2017? We need to know everywhere you was at. Well, I told him that I ended up going over to Tim's house, asking Tim to help me move my furniture at my house, in which he did. I said after that was over with, he went one way, I went another way. And I haven't heard nothing back from him ever since, after he helped me move my furniture. I said later on that night, though, he ended up texting me, saying to me, he said, yeah, I know, we seen you on video at Josephine's where you got the text, and we see you get the text on the video camera. I'm like, right, okay, cool. So they was like, well, where were you at say, between 12:15 to like that before you got to the bar when you received the text? I'm like, what was I at? I couldn't remember where I was at the time, but then it had dawned on me. I had stopped over at Lacey's gambling place to talk to a female there they call Storm. So I talked to Storm, then I ended up leaving there, ended up going to my ex again, her niece's house, to grab my work bag, and I went to work. So, mind you, the whole time while I'm talking to them, they was like, well, we feel like you're not telling us the truth. They was like, what's your name? I was like, Gregory Johnson Jr. Y'all already know my name. Y'all came to my job and got me. Yeah, he said, we just want to get this on the court. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, so what's your other name? I'm like, Fat Man. He's like, no, what's your other name? So I'm like, what are you getting at? So he pulls up my Facebook page and he said, is this you? I'm like, yeah, that's me. He's like, what is that name right there? I'm like, that's murder. He's like, is that what you did to Tim? I'm like, what? No, man. So are you accusing me for killing my own friend? He's like, well, what I think what happened is you and Tim had an argument. Y'all got into it. Somehow, some way, you end up hurting him. You didn't mean to kill him, but you end up hurting him, and now you don't want to tell us where he at. I'm like, you know what, man? I'm not going to go through this with y'all. Look, go ahead and give me a lawyer, because I see what y'all is trying to do. Y'all pull me out from work, saying y'all want to question me about a missing person report, but all of a sudden, this missing person report turned into a murder investigation. This is not making any sense at all. So go ahead and give me a lawyer. So the police was like, okay, look, let's just take a step back right quick. I ain't no taking no step back. Let me go ahead and give me a lawyer. So he was like, look, we're just gonna end the interview. I said, you ain't got no other choice but to. You're not gonna give me no lawyer. So he ends the interview, lets me go. I go over to my friend's house, Carolyn Gilbert, in which now I'm sitting in the kitchen talking to her and her husband. So while I'm talking to her and her husband, Georgetown police, the same guy who came to my job to question me, knocks on the front door, in which he asked my friend if she could step outside of her residence to talk to her. So when she steps out, he sees me sitting in the kitchen, comes inside the house without her permission, without a warrant for my arrest, and without probable cause, and arrested me for murder, criminal damage to government supported property, and criminal trespassing, which I didn't know these were the charges at the time. So anyway, when he arrested me, never read me memorandum rights, pulls me outside of the house, walks me to the car, puts me in the back of the squad car, shuts the door, gets on his radio and says something. I don't know what he said because I couldn't hear, the door was shut. He opens the door back up and said, are you sure you don't want to tell me where to, man? I was like, I don't know, man. That's a grown-ass man. He's free to go wherever he want to go. So he's like, okay. He shut the door again, gets on the radio and says something again. Open the door back up, and he tells me, well, because you do not want to talk, I'm going to make sure I bury you underneath the jail. Now, imagine all this stuff that's going on with these police killing everybody and everything. It scared me because now I'm going to lose my life now. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. So while I'm in the back of the squad car, another officer pulls up named Officer Nichols and takes me. I guess they was switching cars or I don't know what they was doing, but Officer Nichols get in the car that Officer Bolin was driving and drives me to the county jail. Now, while I'm in the county jail, the same police officer that arrested me, Officer Bolin, comes to the county jail and stated that we have a warrant for a DNA sample from the judge and your clothes and everything that you had on you. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you got a warrant. I can't stop you from taking it. So I gave him a DNA sample. The officer who was booking me in, Officer Robinson, gave him my clothes, cell phone, shoes, everything. So I'm really scared now because mind you, he said because I didn't want to talk, he was going to bury me underneath the jail. This is a threat. I don't know how to handle something like this when it's coming from a police officer, knowing that everything that's been transpiring with these police officers killing people, I don't want to be the next victim. So what I decided to do was give a false statement, which was a false confession saying that I did the murder, just so that I could keep my life. So anyway, after Officer Bolin left, I've talked to somebody, I don't know who it was at the county jail in booking. I told him, like, man, look, go tell them that I want to give a confession. So he goes back out. The officer that I talked to goes out to go get Officer Bolin, and Officer Bolin comes back. I'm like, look, man, I give a confession, man. I don't know what you want me to say. He's like, just say that you stabbed him up and hit his body somewhere. Like, what? Hit his body somewhere? That don't make sense. All right, okay, whatever. So I go up to the interview room, and I pretty much tell him what I said. I told him that, man, I sent him to his maker. I stabbed him up and hid his body in the shed, the same shed that he helped me move my furniture out of. So, why in the process of saying this, there was the head sheriff, Hartshorn, which he ended up leaving. Now, mind you, I told him that the body was in there and the knife was on East 15th Street in the woods. And there really wasn't no knife at all. There was nobody in the shed at all. So while going through this, they charged me with first-degree murder, 3 counts of first-degree murder, criminal damage to government-supported property, and criminal trespassing. So now,
Let me ask you
my attorney.
a question right quick, bro, because I want to make sure I understood you or get some clarity. You said that they told you this, or you told them that there was a body there and a knife?
No, no. Now, when he first came to the county jail to come get my DNA sample and everything, and my clothes, shoes, phone, and everything, and I'm like, man, just tell him I want to give him a confession. And so when he came back, I'm like, man, I'm going to give a confession, but what do I say? I don't know what to say. He's like, man, just tell. Now, he told me, just say that you killed him and hid his body. I'm like, he hid his body like that? Don't, all right, whatever. So I stated that I killed him, stabbed him up, and hid his body. So after that, they took me to the interview room and questioned me all over about it again, which I said I sent it to his maker. This where the knife was, this where the body was. I told him the body was in the shed and the knife was on East 15th Street in the woods. There was no knife, first. Second off, there was no body. So now imagine this is going on the 18th of October 18th of 2017 is when I'm giving this confession. Now imagine they locked me up on October 18th of 2017, but they charged me with the murder on October 17th of 2017. So while I'm giving this false confession to a murder that I didn't commit, just to save my own life, because the man threatened me and said he was going to bury me underneath the jail. So